In last video, we have discussed about Mercury in the 6th house of the horoscope. In this video, you will be learning about Mars in the 6th house of your horoscope. So keep watching. Namaste and welcome to Pramanik Astrology channel. I'm your host Prasad Mahazani. Help you raise your vibrations and become your true self with the help of Vedic Astrology. And if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. You'll be getting Vedic astrological videos just like this one. If you have any question, add me on Instagram at Pramanik Astrology. Or if you have any question, you can just go to the comment section of my YouTube videos. Share your queries, comments, open your heart. I'm waiting for you there in the comment section of my YouTube videos. Mars in the 6th house. Before we talk about Mars in the 6th house as a combination, what is Mars? Mars is the independent, fierce, aggressive planet. It is a male planet, and more so it shows the life force, vitality, the real blood, competition, aggression. Mars also represents the land and real estate. Mars is also the karaka for the siblings. Mars is also about the vitality, about the strength, about the self-reliance, about the independence, about all those qualities which represents energy, strength, courage, and enterprising nature of a person. Now we have Mars coming into the 6th house of the horoscope. What is 6th house? 6th house is the Dushtana house. What do I mean by Dushtana house? Dushtana houses are 6th, 8th and 12th. These are the houses which really brings in the challenge in your life. 6th house is the house of date, diseases, arguments, obstacles, challenges. What is the 8th house? 8th house is all about the sudden events, is about the death and rebirth. It is about the transformations. It is about the occult and mysticism. 12th house is the house of loss. 12th house is the house of isolation. 12th house is the house of spirituality. All in all, more so, 12th house is also the house of expenses, by the way. So these houses, 6th, 8th and 12th, are called the Dushtana houses. Dushtana literally means evil. We call it evils. We call these houses evil houses because these houses bring in the challenges in our life. Most of us have a tendency to have an easy life. Easy is good for us and challenging is bad. It is not always the case. So these houses bring in challenge, so we call them bad. Each Dushtana house has its own quality. 8th house is the Moksha Trikona house. 12th is also one of the Moksha Trikona house. And 6th is one of the Upachaya houses. What is Upachaya houses? Upachaya houses is the houses which grows with time. So if you have more and more planet into the 3rd house, 6th house, 10th house and 11th house, they will give better result every single day. Each passing day will bring in good result for you. Constant improvement is the motive of the Upachaya houses because they always make you work. 6th house is one of the Upachaya houses. Now we have Mars coming into the 6th house. If you look at the significations of the 6th house, daily work, routine, obstacles, enemy, date, disease, all these significations, and now Mars is coming into the 6th house. What is Mars? Mars is energy. So the planet of energy is coming into the house of opponent. It will finish it off. Mars in the 6th house, the planet of energy and strength is coming into the house of opponents and enemies. Now this person, the person with the Mars in the 6th house, will demolish the enemies. He will use all his strength to get rid of their enemies, because they have that aggressive approach. All the significations of Mars, strength, independence, self-reliance, vitality, all these is coming in, and they are going all out against their enemies. So it is very difficult for their enemies to get away with these guys. And if they have Mars and Rahu, aggression will be next level. The planet of vitality and energy is coming into the house of diseases. The person with the Mars in the 6th house has greater abilities to fight back with diseases. Remember, Mars is a fighter, and now he is fighting with the disease. He has demolished his enemies being placed into the 6th house. Now he is fighting back against the diseases. Now the person with the Mars in the 6th house has a greater chance to make a comeback, to recover in the disease. Okay, but for that you also need to look into the Trimshamsha chart, the one of the Varga chart for diseases and your strength to recover. The planet of energy and determined action is coming into the house of daily routines. 6th house is about your daily routines, your work life, things which you do regularly, and now Mars is coming into the 6th house. These people are disciplined in their day-to-day life. They will have a well-organized life. They will have order in their life. Order is the word. They will bring in order, because Mars is a soldier, so he will have all his weapons, uniform, shoes, everything ready and in place. Okay, and he has that energy to invest into these things, to bring them into the order. So these people have more organized routines. 6th house is the house of delays, and Mars is the planet of endurance. Saturn is more of an endurance, but the strength and energy to continue the effort can also be seen with Mars. Saturn has a next level patience to have that consistency, the perseverance to perform any action, but Mars is on a disciplined level, also tries to achieve the same. Don't compare it with the Saturn. Saturn is next level, but yes, Mars also has that quality to deal with the delays with its strength to keep working on until it's done. Mars is the planet of aggression, and 6th house is the house of dates. So when you have planet of aggression into the house of dates, you have to be very careful with respect to the dates or your financial obligations. You have to be very particular. If you're taking any loans, if you are having any dates, you have to make sure that you're making the payments on time so that it won't pile up. Okay, so yes, from 6th house, Mars aspects the 9th house, 12th house and the 1st house. Mars has 3 special aspects: the 4th aspect, the 7th aspect, the normal aspect, and the 8th house aspect. So from the 6th house, it aspects the 9th house with the 4th house aspect, the 12th house with the 7th aspect, and 1st house, the ascendant, with the 8th house aspect. When Mars is into the 6th house aspecting the 9th house, what it shows is these people can have an aggressive relationship with the 9th house signification. 9th house is about your guru, father, religion, spirituality, your mentors, your higher beliefs, and now the Mars is aspecting it with the 4th aspect from the 6th house of the arguments. So you can have arguments with these people. From 6th house, Mars aspects the 12th house. 12th house is the house of isolation, and Mars is a fiery, energetic planet. And 12th house is the house of spirituality, isolation, quietude. And when people go to the ashram, asylums, they are being in themselves in some spiritual practice. People with the 6th house Mars aspecting the 12th house don't have patience to follow any spiritual practice. Okay? Because they believe in taking radical action. They want to do it. They believe that if I do something, I will achieve something, and which really makes them feel good about themselves. So they always try to achieve something. They like to take action. They are not into meditation or spirituality, but they go towards yoga. It is action oriented. It can be an intense hatha yoga, or maybe martial arts, or something to do with the isolation and doing something, taking action in the isolation, like going to a jungle, learning martial arts, going to some isolated spiritual place and learning from some master some techniques which will help them to destroy their enemies. The 6th house thing, with this divine learnings from their masters in the isolation. When Mars is aspecting your ascendant from the 6th house with the 8th house aspect, so what it shows is you have to be careful with your health and the physical body, because Mars is also the representation of the accidents or risk in the adventurous activities. So you have to guard against those events, and you have to be reasonable when it comes to taking risk into the adventurous activities during the Mahadasha of Mars. Mars in the 6th house also makes person a commanding in their life, because Mars loves to be in the 6th house. He feels like home in the 6th house and 10th house, because now he can apply all his significations. He can be aggressive, he can show his strength, he can destroy the enemies, he still can be a winner, he can do it every single day. All these signification matches with the Mars original inherent nature. But when these things are stretched too far, they tend to become aggressive, and other people cannot handle them. Bit too aggressive. Mars itself is aggressive, but these people become bit too aggressive to handle. So they have to take care on this front as well. So yes, this was Mars in the 6th house, as much as I could hold, grasp and share with you guys. But if you are starting into Vedic astrology, I have a playlist called How to Get Started into Vedic Astrology. You can go and watch those videos. Or if you want to know more about the relationships, I have one playlist to how to understand the relationships in Vedic astrology. I'll put both of these playlists into the end screen. You can also check out the links of all my playlists into the description, or maybe in the first comment. I might pin that comment. Okay. So yes, this was Mars, as much as I could hold, grasp and share with you guys. Sending you tons of positive energy, sending you high vibes. See you in the next videos. Love and peace.